Members, please stand for the presentation of the colors. The Boulder Police Department Honor Guard will be presenting the colors this morning, and its participants are Commander Rachel Clark of the Boulder Police Department, Chris Merkel of the Boulder County District Attorney's Office, Chris Clark of the Boulder Police Department, and Nathan Logue of the Boulder Police Department. After the colors have been posted, Senator Lee will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Members and guests, please follow me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate proceed out of order for consideration of Senate Joint Resolution 6.
The motion is to proceed out of order for consideration of resolutions. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. We will proceed out of order. Consideration of resolutions. Will the clerk please read the title of Senate Joint Resolution 006?
Senate Joint Resolution 006 by Senators Cook and Zenzinger and Representative Will concerning declaring the week of March 11th through 16th, 2022 as Police Week and in connection therewith declaring March 15th, 2022 as Peace Officers Memorial Day.
Senator Cook.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move SJR 006 and ask that selected portions be read at length.
Will the clerk please read the selected portions of Senate Joint Resolution 006 at length?
Senate Joint Resolution 006 by Senators Cook and Zenzinger and Representative Will concerning declaring the week of March 11th through the 16th, 2022 as Police Week and in connection therewith declaring March 15th, 2022 as Peace Officers Memorial Day. Whereas Congress and the President of the United States have designated May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day and the week in which it falls as National Police Week, and whereas the members of the law enforcement agencies within the state of Colorado play an essential role in safeguarding the rights and freedoms of the citizens of the state of Colorado, and whereas it is important that all citizens of Colorado know and understand the duties, responsibilities, and challenges of their peace officers, and whereas it is important that peace officers throughout Colorado recognize their duty to serve the people of this state by safeguarding life and property, protecting citizens against violence, disorder, and deception, and protecting the weak against oppression or intimidation. And whereas the law enforcement agencies within the state of Colorado have grown to be modern and professional agencies that unceasingly provide a vital public service, and whereas the following peace officers made the ultimate sacrifice while serving the state of Colorado. In 2012, Jeremy Bittner of the Englewood Police Department, Selena Hollis of the Denver Police Department, Matthew Tyner of the Colorado Springs Police Department, Lyda William DeFusco and Warren W. Watts of the Pueblo County Sheriff's Office, James Jeffrey Davies of the Lakewood Police Department, and Mary Kay Ricard of the Colorado Department of Corrections. In 2013, Thomas L. Clements of the Colorado Department of Corrections. In 2014, David Michael Baldwin of the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office. In 2015, Garrett Swasey of the University of Colorado, Colorado Springs Police Department. Jamie Jersevics and Taylor Thifault of the Colorado State Patrol, and Sean Renfro of the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office. In 2016, Travis Russell of the Los Animas County Sheriff's Office, Nate Kerrigan of the Park County Sheriff's Office, Derek Gear of the Mesa County Sheriff's Office, and Cody Donahue of the Colorado State Patrol. In 2017, Zachary Parrish III of Douglas County Sheriff's Office. In 2018, Heath Gum of the Adams County Sheriff's Office, Micah Flick of the El Paso County Sheriff's Office, and Matthew Moreno of the Los Animas County Sheriff's Office. In 2019, William Moden of the Colorado State Patrol, Daniel H. Groves of the Colorado State Patrol, and Joshua Eli Voth of the Colorado Department of Corrections. In 2020, Jeff Hopkins of the El Paso County Sheriff's Office, Brenda Unit of the Larimer County Department of Natural Resources, and Kurt Holland of the Commerce City Police Department. In 2021, Wayne Stephen Whaler of Mesa County Sheriff's Office, Joseph Pollack of Douglas County Sheriff's Office, Clay Livingston of Elbert County Sheriff's Office, Ty Allen Powell of Windsor Police Department, Eric Scher of Aurora Police Department, Gordon Beasley of Arvada Police Department, Daniel Duke Trujillo of Denver Sheriff's Department, James Herrera of Denver Sheriff's Department, and Eric Houston Talley of Boulder Police Department. And whereas it is fitting and appropriate for the citizens of Colorado to join together in commemorating peace officers, past and present, who by their faithful and loyal devotion to their responsibilities have rendered a dedicated service to their community, and in doing so have established for themselves an enviable and enduring reputation for preserving the rights and security of all citizens. Now therefore, be it resolved by the Senate of the 73rd General Assembly of the State of Colorado, the House of Representatives concurring herein, that we, the members of the General Assembly, hereby proclaim the week commencing May 11th, 2022, as Police Week in Colorado, in recognition of peace officers' efforts in safeguarding the citizens of Colorado, and call upon all citizens of the state and upon all patriotic, civic, and educational organizations to observe Police Week, and that we hereby proclaim the day of May 15, 2022, as Peace Officers Memorial Day, in recognition of those officers who, through their courageous deeds, have made the supreme sacrifice or who have been disabled in the line of duty, and call upon the citizens of Colorado to recognize and participate in the observance of this worthy occasion. Be it further resolved that copies of this joint resolution be sent to Jared Polis, Governor of Colorado, Robert Cook, President of the Colorado Chapter of Concerns of Police Survivors, Inc., Diane Bernhard, Executive Director of Concerns of Police Survivors, Inc., Major Barry Bratt, Chairman of the Colorado Law Enforcement Memorial, Stephen Schultz, State President of the Fraternal Order of Police, Colorado State Lodge, Ben Leach, President of the Colorado Police Protective Association, Stan Hilke, Executive Record Director of the Colorado Department of Public Safety, Colonel Matthew C. Packard, Chief of the Colorado State Patrol, Chief John Camper, Director of the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, Greg Knott, Board President of the Colorado Association of Chiefs of Police, Anthony Mazzola, President of the County Sheriffs of Colorado, Amy Nichols, Executive Director of County Sheriffs of Colorado, Mesa County Sheriff Todd Rowell, Douglas County Sheriff Tony Spurlock, Elbert County Sheriff Tim Norton, Windsor Police Chief Rick Klimek, Boulder Police Chief Maris Harold, Aurora Police Chief Vanessa Wilson, Denver Sheriff Elias Diggins, and Arvada Police Chief Link Strait.
Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have an amendment this morning.
There is an amendment at the desk, will the clerk please read Amendment L001?
Amendment L001 by Senator.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, we needed to bring this amendment forward in order to correct some dates and to add some folks to the list that were left off originally, and we asked for an aye vote. I move Amendment L001.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the adoption of Amendment L001 to Senate Joint Resolution 6. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 34 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 1 excused, that amendment is adopted. To the resolution. Senator Cook.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, please be seated. I was listening to the names that were being called off by the reader. There were a lot, and that's just going back 10 years. So I think it's worth reading the names of the ones from this year again, so that they will never be forgotten. So we're here today to honor 9 peace officers who died in the line of duty in Colorado last year. Sergeant Wayne Whaler, Mesa County Sheriff's Office, end of watch December 10th, 2021. Detective Joseph Pollock, Douglas County Sheriff's Office, end of watch December 9th, 2021. Deputy Sheriff Clay Livingston, Elbert County Sheriff's Office, end of watch December 3, 2021. Police Officer Ty Powell, Windsor Police Department, end of watch October 13, 2021. Sergeant Eric Shearer, Aurora Police Department, end of watch August 30th, 2021. Police Officer Gordon Beasley, Arvada Police Department, end of watch June 21, 2021. Deputy Daniel Duke Trujillo, Denver Sheriff's Department, end of watch May 26, 2021. Deputy Sheriff James Herrera, Denver Sheriff's Department, end of watch May 16, 2021. Police Officer Eric Talley, Boulder Police Department, end of watch March 22nd, 2021. 2 of these officers' names I just read were gunned down by an evil coward who had no regard for human life. They were shot and killed while trying to protect their communities. Tragically, but yet unselfishly, they gave their lives for others, people who they didn't know and probably never even met. The other 7 were taken by something just as evil and cowardly, COVID-19. While many in Colorado and the nation were allowed, encouraged, and even required to stay home and work from their residences, law enforcement didn't have that luxury. Deputies, officers, agents still had to be on the job 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, responding to calls just like they always have. You know, a lot of people think law enforcement is probably the deadliest profession in this country, but it really isn't. As a matter of fact, it's not even the top 10 if you go by 100,000 population in that particular occupation. However, that's a little misleading. It's usually around 4 or 5 in total occupational deaths. But regardless of where it falls, it's the only profession, besides the military, where people intentionally want to do you harm or kill you for doing nothing more than their job or because of the uniform they wear. It's probably the only job where the spouse might wonder or ask themselves, will my husband or wife or spouse or loved one be coming home tonight? The plumber's wife doesn't have to worry about her husband facing down a man with a gun when he leaves for work in the morning. The engineer's husband isn't concerned that his wife will get called to a domestic violence and have to enter an unknown house to break up a tense and unpredictable situation. The accountant's wife or husband doesn't sit at home praying that their spouse is safe while making a traffic stop on an unknown vehicle or person on a dark, unlit county road in the middle of the night. No senator in this chamber has to live with the fear of an unknown knock on the door, thinking that someone is there to tell them that their loved one was just killed in the line of duty at work. Last year in this country, there were 458 local, state, tribal, and federal officers and deputies killed in the line of duty. 301 by COVID, 84 by felony assault. 19 of which of those felony assaults were ambushes, sitting in their car at a restaurant, wherever, and ambushed. 58 of those officers, troopers, deputies were killed by crashes or just helping a motorist on the side of the road. Put that in comparison with our military, who does a fantastic job. 13 were killed last year. The number of officers killed is just under 40 times more than all the deaths in combat zones last year. I've told this story before, but I think it's worth repeating. In 2010, I was in San Diego on a little mini vacation, and I saw the San Diego police cars, and it says, America's Finest. I thought that was a little brash, a little egotistical, because my thought was that Weld County is America's finest, and their deputies. But after I thought about it a little bit longer, I realized that they were right. San Diego was right. They are America's finest. I realized I was right, that Weld County is America's finest, that we both were right. But you know who else is America's finest? I'm looking at them. They're all here in this chamber. You want to see America's finest? They are sitting in this chamber. They are the men and women who patrol the streets and the roads of Elbert County, Douglas County, and Mesa County, the cities of Windsor, Aurora, Arvada, and Boulder. They're the ones who work in the housing units and cells in the Denver jail. It's the officers and deputies that are working right now, keeping our cities, our counties, and our state safe from harm while they're putting themselves in harm's way. America's finest are the ones whose names we just read today and died last year, who have taken their place with those who have gone before them and now are sitting at the right hand of God. For Christ himself said, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God." I placed on everybody's desk a list of jurisdictions and the number of deputies, officers, agents killed in Colorado since 1869. 7 years before we were even a state. Please look at them. Look at your district to see who died to represent you, to serve you and your community. Every year I do a memory table, and it's up here, up on the president's podium, and I'd just like to tell you what it means. It's filled with symbolism. The table is covered with a white cloth, symbolizes the loyalty and commitment of our peace officers through their career of service to their representative communities. Folded American flag is placed on the table to represent the courage and sacrifice of our fellow police officers as they protected our freedom and provided a safe environment for our citizens they served. A single red rose in a vase is placed on the table to symbolize the family and friends of our fellow peace officers that left behind. A law enforcement hat and badge is placed on the table to symbolize absence of our fellow peace officers. A white candle is placed on the table and lit during the resolution as a constant reminder that our fallen officers are not and will not be forgotten. A framed list providing the name, the date of death of each of our fallen officers is posted on the table as a visible reminder of our officers and friends who have gone on. And in closing, I would like to read an article from a Father Thomas Nagel, who was a chaplain for the FBI for over 40 years in the Chicago Police Department. And this is his article that he wrote for a periodical. We are living in an age of unraveling, where the fabric of so many of our institutions, beliefs, and assumptions is fraying. And although the image of the profession of law enforcement has been actively attacked and degraded by some in terms of respect and trust and even necessity, law enforcement remains one of the last few exciting, substantial, and noble professions in the United States. We Americans have an odd relationship with those who enforce our laws. We want them to be closely monitored and exquisitely sensitive when they enter our personal world. But when the powers of hell enter our personal world, we want those same agents and officers to be fearless and with minimal restrictions in taking action. It's a healthy tension, one of life's dilemmas. We want to have it both ways. Every reflective man and woman wants life to have meaning, but don't want to live or work, love, or suffer cheaply. We want meaning, so while we move through life, we try to develop a system of belief and value that infuses the fire and ice moments of our lives and meaning. We discover true, mature faith, which is not the same as organized religion. It's deeper. It's a matter of our heart and soul. Everyone who works in law enforcement at any level is well aware that there is evil in our world, and we need to be reminded that we are on the side of good, challenging and pushing back against that very real evil. The vocabulary may change with the welcome illumination and understanding that psychology, biology, and other sciences and arts brings into the equation, but the primary reality continues to play out. Good wrestling with evil still. As the philosopher Charles Taylor writes, it would be a mistake to think this kind of formula has disappeared, even for unbelievers in our world. Believers and unbelievers, we're aware of the struggle. In my 31 years as an FBI chaplain and 41 years as full-time chaplain for the Chicago Police Department, the war of good versus evil was the music playing in my soul, sometimes softly and sometimes at a deafening level, but almost never silent. Late one summer night, at the scene where 7 people had been shot, an elderly, frail woman, a neighborhood sage, whom I met previously, said to me, "Father, the devil walks this earth like a natural man." My personal belief doesn't include clove hooves and a tail and pitchfork, but I thought the wise old woman nailed the reality, and her image made me smile a bit. I could picture it. Part of our search for meaning of life is to assure ourselves that our work is adding to and enriching the quality of human life, rather than draining the juice out of the lives of other human beings. This day-to-day energy of American law enforcement is spent working for peace where there is violence, order where there is chaos, and justice where there is injustice. Sounds noble. It is. To mix the elderly, frail, sweet, wise woman's image with my own outlook and imaginary, I believe that law enforcement agents and officer is acquainted with Satan, but a friend of God. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will keep my comments relatively short, shorter than Officer Gordon Beasley deserves. Less poetic because this is going to be hard to get through. Every fallen officer is someone's friend, someone's protector, someone's hero. And Officer Beasley was Arvada's. When I met him, he was a motorcycle cop, and he confided to people that he worked with that he hated being a part of somebody's bad day. He was the ticket that they got, the flashing lights behind them, and he knew he was meant for a different role, and he found that perfect place at Oberon Middle School as an SRO, the school where I actually did my student teaching. And there he was the best part of so many good days. He was supportive of the teachers, the staff, and most especially the students. He was a big guy. He could have easily used his size and strength to intimidate, but instead he was goofy and friendly and caring. Some of you may have already heard about the news story about his relationship with one of the students at Oberon. There was a 7th grader with special needs that wanted to ride his bike to school, but his mother worried about him riding alone. Officer Beasley offered to ride with him on his bike to school, first for a day, then another, and so many mornings were shared that way that it caught the attention of the city of Arvada. And they saw the love that he was bringing to the community and the confidence and the autonomy that he cultivated in that child. And they named him City Employee of the Year. We planted a tree in his honor, a red oak. He said that when he retired, he hoped to climb it one day. Last summer, a gunman opened fire in Old Town, Arvada. He was disturbed, suicidal, and ambushed Officer Beasley. He fired his shotgun 9 times at the back of a good man, right there, next to the fountains, next to the shoppers, our library, right there in the middle of town, the center of the town that he loved and protected for 19 years. On June 21st, 2021, Officer Gordon Beasley fell in the line of duty. He left behind his wife, Karen, and his sons, Tobias and Mateus. He left behind his fellow officers, some of whom are here in the room with us today. He left behind the lives he touched at Oberon Middle School and the entire community that he enriched. He left behind a legacy of honor, of service, and an example of what it means to give with love. I want to honor all the officers that we remember today and the officers who continue their service in our cities and towns. You make a difference. I will never forget the unthinkable costs that you willingly risk. And today, we mourn 9 of your brothers. But perhaps we will honor them best if every day we remember you and your sacrifices. We appreciate you being here with us today.
Senator Kirkmeyer.
Thank you, Mr. President. It is my honor to recognize Officer Ty Allen Powell, who is joined here today. We're joined here today with his wife, Dawn Powell, and Sergeant Robert Shaleen from the Windsor Police Department. Officer Ty Allen Powell was born in Laramie, Wyoming. He graduated from Walden High School and then joined the Marine Corps. Officer Powell achieved the rank of Lance Corporal while serving our nation in the Marine Corps. After his military service, he began serving as an EMT and a volunteer firefighter in Grand County. Officer Powell would start his law enforcement service after attending the Police Academy in Grand Junction. Officer Powell served with the Mesa County Sheriff's Department and the Jackson County Sheriff's Department before his service in Windsor, which started in 2002. Officer Powell was an avid archer, hunter, camper. He was a hockey fan, and Harley-Davidson motorcycle rider. Officer Powell's end of watch was on Wednesday, October 13th, 2021. He is survived by his wife, Dawn, and children, Cassie, Jeffrey, James, Trace, Braden, and his sister, Shannon.
Minority Leader Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, the Colorado law enforcement community mourned the loss of Douglas County Sheriff Detective Joe Pollock, who passed of COVID on December 9, 2021. His death is being considered a line of duty death. Detective Pollock spent 20 years with the New York City Police Department, where he attained the rank of sergeant. He then spent 19 years with America's finest, the Douglas County Sheriff's Office, and was assigned to the Special Investigations Unit. Detective Pollock played a key role in the trial against STEM shooter
STEM school shooter, Devin Erickson, testifying as one of the responding officers of that day. Detective Pollock is survived by his wife, Eva, who is here with us today. Eva is joined by Douglas County Sheriff Tony Spurlock and Douglas County Sheriff's Lieutenant Tommy Barella. We are very sorry for your loss. As the senators from Douglas County, we are grateful to our Sheriff's Office and all of the men and women who serve our community. God bless you.
President.
Thank you, Madam President. Officer Eric Talley, I think, is a name that will live on for a very, very long time in the hearts and minds of Coloradans. Officer Talley, I think many of you, if not all of you, already know, was the officer who was killed in the line of duty during last year's tragedy in Boulder at King Soopers. This was a regular day for so many. This was a day when people were going about their lives to shop for some last-minute groceries for dinner. Or they were helping a customer pack up their groceries. And it was just a regular day at work. For Officer Talley, it was also a regular day at work in some ways, because every single day he went to work and he protected our community. And that's what he continued to do that day. And there is no question he saved the lives of many and didn't hesitate whatsoever. It cost him his life. It cost an immense amount of pain and suffering for his family and his loved ones and his colleagues. But he had a mark on our community and will always be known as the individual who stepped in and saved the lives of many. Thank you to Officer Talley, his family, his friends, his loved ones, and to all those who serve with him. We are joined here by Police Chief Maris Harold, Deputy Chief Steve Redfern, and the Honor Guard from Boulder. Thank you.
Senator Sonnenberg.
Thank you, Madam President. You know, oftentimes we never see the people that we honor today before they've gone on before us. We never have the opportunity, or maybe I should better say, we never take the opportunity to say thank you before it's too late. As we talk about these law enforcement friends and heroes, we need to be reminded that even during a COVID pandemic, they went to work every single day to keep us safer. Every single day, knowing that pandemic and the uncertainty was out there. Knowing that they could take it home to their family. That they may pay the ultimate price, but yet they did it anyhow. Deputy Sheriff Clay Livingston did just that. And I suppose he learned that as being a Marine. Not going to shy away from the public service that he had dedicated his life to do. That public service where he wanted to serve and protect either as a Marine or as an Elbert County Deputy Sheriff. After his duty with the Marine Corps, he did join Elbert County Sheriff's Office, was there for 2 years. Sheriff Tim Norton stated, "Clay will be greatly missed by all who knew him. He was a dedicated public servant and worked honorably to help make Elbert County a safer community. He was a valued member of our Sheriff's Office family, and we are heartbroken by his loss." The thing that's so hard for me, as you look over and see his wife Shelby sitting there with their son Carson, who is 5, playing with the John Deere tractor, and Cole, who is now 6 months old, but was less than 2 months old. When he lost his father. I'm thankful they are here today. I'm thankful for his service. And I'm thank you for the dedication of his family, his wife, and his children, for letting him do the community service and serve this great country as he has. I'm also honored today to have part of his team here. Sheriff Tim Norton is here. Under Sheriff Fisher is here. Deputy Geiser is here. And Deputy Galuzzo is here. Thank you for giving your husband and your family to our great state.
Senator Buckner.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am proud to honor Sergeant Eric Shear. He was only 46 years old. He had a tour of 25 years, and his badge number was 008. Sergeant Eric Shear died from complications as a result of contracting COVID-19 in the line of duty while serving at the District 2 police station at 6 Abilene Street in Aurora. Sergeant Shear had served with the Aurora Police Department for 21 years and had previously served 4 years with the Colorado State Patrol. He is survived by his wife and 3 children. I have lived in Aurora since 1975. I was familiar with this nice man, and I just talked to his wife outside, and I asked her how she was doing, because we know every day a police officer goes out on the street, he may not come home. So as a widow myself, I asked her how she was doing, and she said, month by month, day by day, sometimes minute by minute. We recognize your sacrifice. We understand and recognize your husband's sacrifice, and I'm honored to acknowledge your family today. Would you please stand as I call your names? The wife, Angie Shear. Son, Evan Shear. Father, Stan Shear. Mother, Cindy Shear. Sister, Tiffany Allen. Brother-in-law, Travis Allen. Chief Vanessa Wilson. Sergeant Matt Novak, his best friend. Thank you for being here today. We will be praying for you, and we appreciate your husband's sacrifice.
Senator Fields.
Good morning, Mr. President and colleagues. I hope that you can hear me. First of all, I want to thank my senator from Arapahoe County who has already acknowledged the chief, the sergeant's best friend, and then also the family members of Sergeant Shears. I just want to first of all start by saying that I stand in strong support of this resolution and want to thank the sponsors for creating this time and space for us to acknowledge our fallen officers everywhere, not only in the great state of Colorado, but across our nation. We gather here today in the Senate because of their efforts, because of their courageous and bold efforts to want to really believe in the walk as it relates to the oath that they took as a law enforcement officer. We acknowledge all of their sacrifice, and we acknowledge what they have taught us and what they have taught me. They have taught me the virtue of service. They've taught me the virtue of being courageous in the line of duty. To the Aurora Police Department, Chief Wilson and Sergeant Matt Novak, I know that your work is dangerous and it's dark, and I want to thank you for the leadership that you provide the department, because it's not easy and it requires strong and bold leadership. For this, I say thank you. To Sergeant Shear, he was just doing his job. But you know what? The family also do their job as well. They are serving alongside that officer. And I'm quite sure there are rituals involved when you see your loved one leave. It might be a kiss on the cheek. It might be a saying that you have that's as simple as "be well," or "call me when you have a break." Or it might be, "if you're going to be late coming home, please call." I'm quite sure you had a ritual because you were tapped in to understanding the nature of the job. So my prayer for you today is that you remember every smile before a tear drops down. I want you to know that the Colorado State Senate appreciates the work of every officer that is serving our community. We will always remember their sacrifice. I believe my role as citizens and also as senator is to let law enforcement know how much I care. My role as citizen, as neighbor, and as friend to law enforcement is to let them know how much I appreciate them. Our role is simple. It's to say thank you. Thank you for your service. So when you see a law enforcement officer all dressed in their uniform with their shield on, make a habit to say thank you. Thank you for your service. I think that's important that we acknowledge that, because it takes bravery, it takes courage, and today we're acknowledging the heroes that made the ultimate sacrifice. And we will never forget what they have done to keep our neighborhoods safe and our state secure. But most of all, I just want to say thank you to all those who serve in law enforcement. And I close by saying, once again, thank you for your service, especially for those who serve alongside the officer who's doing the work. Thank you.
Senator Coleman.
Thank you, Mr. President. It is my honor, along with my colleagues from Denver, to recognize Deputy Daniel Duke Trujillo from the Denver Sheriff's Department, who passed away last year at the age of 33 due to COVID. Deputy Trujillo served our country in the United States Marine Corps prior to his service with the Denver Sheriff's Department. Members, I would like to ask that those who are in attendance, both sheriff as well as the family, please stand as I call your name. We are joined today by Denver Sheriff Elias Diggins and Deputy Trujillo's family with his mother, Renee Martinez, his father, Paul Martinez, his sister, Alexis Martinez, his grandfather, Manuel Esquivel, and his grandmother, Beverly Esquivel. We are grateful for your sacrifice. We thank you for loving us and continuing to show that love. We're here for you. We're praying for you. We know that it's not easy, but we're grateful because of his sacrifice, we're able to serve in this chamber today. So thank you very much for being here, and we have a token of appreciation.
Senator Hansen.
Thank you, Mr. President. Also wanted to recognize the family of James Herrera, who served in the Denver Sheriff's Department. Sheriff Herrera's, Deputy Herrera's family wasn't able to join us today, but we also have a flag and token of our appreciation from the Senate, which I'll share with the Denver Sheriff.
Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. I already had an opportunity to introduce you to the background and the fantastic human being that Officer Gordon Beasley was. His family was not able to be with us here today, but we do have a representative of the family, and we just want to very warmly welcome Stuart Wright. If you'll please stand on behalf of the Beasley family. Also, we have Officer Beasley's law enforcement family that is here with us today, beginning first with Chief Link Strait. If you'll please stand. Deputy Chief Ed Brady, Commander Mark Nazarick, Commander Betsy Westbrook, and Detective David Snelling, all with the Arvada Police Department. Thank you very much for being here with us today, and we know that you will make sure that this flag and flag certificate gets to the family, and we hope that you will extend our deepest condolences on behalf of the State Senate.
Senator Scott.
Thank you, Mr. President. I appreciate the opportunity to speak this morning. My father was a state trooper, and I lost him when I was 18 years old. A lot of people in this chamber don't know that, so this day has always been very special to me. And it's a difficult day because we all have to think back and we have to remember and we have to go back through a lot of old memories, which is very, very difficult. But today, I'm here to honor Sergeant Stephen Weiler from the Mesa County Sheriff's Department. We lost him this last year to COVID, which was a very difficult thing for all of us in Mesa County and especially his family to deal with after 41 years of service to the people of the state of Colorado. It was a terrible thing to have happen. He also served Adams County Sheriff's Department since 1981 to 1996 before he came over to Mesa County and blessed us with his ability to do so many things for the people of Mesa County. He wore many, many hats while he was here in Mesa County. Everything from a school resource officer, which I think is one of the greatest things that we can have a deputy do for us. Many different law operations that he dealt with. He dealt from everything from traffic to complex crimes. He was a wonderful man. We were all in shock when this took place. After that many years of service, to have a terrible disease as COVID take somebody away from us has been very difficult for all involved, and we all miss him greatly and deeply. We're fortunate today to have Lieutenant Eric Sperber there to represent Mesa County Sheriff's Department. Thank you very much for coming today. You're all in our prayers, and thank you for your service. And again, this is a very special day for all of us in the chamber. And a special message, I think, to the young folks that are in the back of the chamber that I could see back there. Having been one of those that lost a father, I can tell you it's going to be it's a tough journey. You'll all be strong, and you will survive, and you will do just great things in the name of your father. So thank you so much for being there. God bless you.
Senator Zenzinger.
We have a couple of other guests that are here on behalf of Mesa County, and seeing as how they drove a very long way to be here, we want to make sure to welcome them. We also have with us, in addition to Lieutenant Eric Sperber, we have Jeff Byrne, Todd Sorensen, and Mark Johnson.
Further discussion? Senator Janal.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you to the good senators from Weld County and Arvada for bringing this resolution forward as you do every year, and we will continue to do every year. I rise in strong support of SJR 006. My dad, Joseph T. Janal, was a police officer for over 25 years, and many of you probably know this, in Manchester, New Hampshire. And I know firsthand what the families of officers go through each day. One of the issues a police officer's family has to deal with is the question of whether or not, and it's been brought up, their husband or their wife or their partner, father or mother, is going to come home each day. And I have memories of this happening when my mom and I, almost I was probably Carson's age, and my dad didn't retire until I was in my 20s. So from a little girl, about 5 or 6, I can remember when my dad went off to work, we would go to the dining room window and watch him back out of the garage, of the driveway, and wave goodbye. Blow him a kiss, and at times my mother would have tears in her eyes. And at 5 years old, I didn't really understand why Mom was so emotional. Didn't happen every time, and we didn't do this every time, but those times really are just burned into my soul. I always wondered why Mom wouldn't tell me until I got older that there were some things going on, that she was worried that we would not see my dad, and he would not come home that day or that evening, or whatever shift he worked. Accidents and tragedies occur every day that affect people and the families from all professions. Law enforcement families are different in that they watch their loved ones put on that uniform and knowingly and willingly walk into uncertain danger and work every day. For most, the news of an officer being killed or injured in the line of duty is another sad story in the newspaper. Disturbing, yes, but sometimes easily forgotten once the news cycle winds down. But not to all of you out there, not to all of you who have a loved one or who are in law enforcement. Officers' families sitting here today know that it's another stark reminder of the last time they kissed their loved one goodbye, that it really was the last time. I was fortunate. I was extremely fortunate. My family was fortunate. We never had to have that knock on the door. Police and police families will always be a part of my family. And you are in my heart and my prayers. I just want you to know I can't imagine what those words felt like when you heard them. But know that I have an idea, and my prayers, my thoughts, and just the very soul of me, you are all part of a family. My family, we are all part of a bigger family. God bless you all.
Further discussion. Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. We would like to renew our motion and of SJR-006, and we request a roll call vote.
The motion is for the adoption of Senate Joint Resolution 006, and a roll call vote has been requested. Will the clerk please poll the senators?
Senators. Senator Bridges. Senator Bridges, aye. Senator Buckner. Senator Buckner, aye. Senator Coleman. Senator Coleman, aye. Senator Cook.
Aye.
Senator Cook, aye. Senator Coram, excused. Senator Danielson.
Aye.
Senator Danielson, aye. Senator Donovan. Senator Donovan, aye. Senator Fields.
Aye.
Senator Fields, aye. Senator Gardner. Senator Gardner, aye. Senator Janal. Senator Janal, aye. Senator Gonzalez. Senator Gonzalez, aye. Senator Hansen. Senator Hansen, aye. Senator Hinrichsen. Senator Hinrichsen, aye. Senator Heisey. Senator Heisey, aye. Senator Holbert. Senator Holbert, aye. Senator Hawkes Lewis. Senator Hawkes Lewis, aye. Senator Kirkmeyer. Senator Kirkmeyer, aye. Senator Coker. Senator Coker, aye. Senator Lee. Senator Lee, aye. Senator Liston. Senator Liston, aye. Senator Lundin. Senator Lundin, aye. Senator Moreno. Senator Moreno, aye. Senator Pedersen.
Aye.
Senator Pedersen, aye. Senator Priola. Senator Priola, aye. Senator Rankin. Senator Rankin, aye. Senator Rodriguez. Senator Rodriguez, aye. Senator Scott.
Aye.
Senator Scott, aye. Senator Simpson. Senator Simpson, aye. Senator Smallwood. Senator Smallwood, aye. Senator Sonnenberg. Senator Sonnenberg, aye. Senator Story.
Aye.
Senator Story, aye. Senator Winter. Senator Winter, aye. Senator Woodward. Senator Woodward, aye. Senator Zenzinger.
Aye.
Senator Zenzinger, aye. Mr. President.
Aye.
Mr. President, aye.
With a vote of 34 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 1 excused, Senate Joint Resolution 6 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Senator Cook.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask that the current roll call be added as co-sponsors to SJR 006.
Seeing no objection, the current roll call will be added as co-sponsors to Senate Joint Resolution 006. Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. We ask that we stand for a moment of silence and have the chimes rung.
Senate will observe a moment of silence and the chimes will ring.
Thank you.
The Senate will stand in a recess to greet our guests.